What's up, people? Welcome back to vlog number 40. That's 40. 40! We made it! 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 Oh yeah! Hey! 40! Episode 40. That's how many vlogs I've done in a row. So far, I'm not bragging, I'm just stating a fact. Okay, I'm bragging. No, I'm not. I'm only joking. So, today is another day, and that means more and more brilliant and beautiful things to do. Brilliant and beautiful ideas, and brilliant and beautiful experiences. Because that's the kind of life I choose. The kind of life I choose is one that is brilliant, one that is beautiful, and by choosing only the brilliant and the beautiful, I remain just as joyous as I am, as I can. And that means a lot to me. I think it's quite important to make sure that you're okay. Not only that you're okay, that you're great, that you're fantastic, that you're brilliant, that you're beautiful. Why? Why not? Why not? Why not? To be brilliant and to be beautiful and to be fantastic is all just brilliant and beautiful and fantastic. Do you see how this works? You're using circular logic. That's not allowed. It's funny. I watched a lot of these like debate style videos on YouTube. And some of them are quite good. And the format that's probably the best format is it's got to be the surrounded video, where you get someone who sits in the middle and then they're surrounded by like 40 people or whatever who all disagree with them. Might be less than 40, I don't know. I think I just said 40 because I'm on vlog number 40. I think that's why. And I think their show, I guess it's a show, yeah. I think that show, that format for that video or whatever, I think it's a good format. And I think they've come out with some pretty good videos, and it's opened up some pretty interesting conversations. And surprisingly, it's often way more positive than I would have thought. Because a lot of the time when you put on debate and it's just people disagreeing, oh my God, it starts doing my head in. I'm like, oh, I can't listen to this anymore. But when there's people who have opposing ideas, but they're both trying to put a positive spin on it for the other person, it actually creates this overwhelming, like, positive vortex of, like, things that seem to be opposing but actually are all complementing each other. And it's like just showing two halves of the same picture. It's a beautiful picture. It's a brilliant picture. And here are both sides of it. Like, you cut it in half, and one person has one half of that picture and one person has the other. And they're both brilliant and they're both beautiful. Back to brilliant and beautiful once again. Seems like brilliant and beautiful is all I'm talking about right now, at least right now. If you have two halves of a brilliant and beautiful picture, the two halves may be brilliant and beautiful themselves, separately from each other. But if you put them together, you get the full picture of the perfect balance of the left side and the right side. And if not politics, okay, hang on, let me rephrase. If that's not what politics needs, then what does it need? Because to me, that seems to be the solution to everything. Take both sides, have a look at them, weigh them up, balance them, and then create one beautiful picture from those. One picture means something that's has something that's harmonious in its two separate halves, but makes up a whole in their joining. Now, and if you don't want harmony, you really have to question why you don't want harmony. Because Harmony is what makes all of life okay. It's what makes you feel like you're having a great day. Is, oh wow, everything just went so well today. Why was that? There was harmony. People were just looking after each other, caring about each other. And I think people have got to look after each other and care about each other, whether they have the same ideas or different ideas. And why not just listen to different ideas, ideas that are different to your own, and find a way to understand them rather than just thinking, that's not what I think, and then just focusing on what you think. Why don't you just think about something new and maybe consider that there's obviously a reason why everybody thinks what they think? And you don't need to be right about anything. You don't need to have like the best ideas. You don't need to have like like nobody has like the ultimate set of beliefs. Like that's so obvious. Anyone can say that. Nobody has the ultimate set of beliefs, but not me, nor anyone. No one should think that they do. If you go into conversation and you don't think that you know everything, that means your ears are open and your eyes are open to actually see and hear what is there, rather than just working with your pre-existing notions based on the judgments that you've already created through the experiences that you've had and the insights that you've ascertained over time. If you want to develop yourself and carry on developing yourself, you can't think that you've already developed yourself to the maximum. You haven't. No one has. And why would you want to? There should be every day some kind of developmental process taking place within yourself. That's how you stay alive. That's how that if there is like this eternal fountain of youth that is um, existent within the world, that would be what it was. It would be a metaphorical, spiritual fountain of youth, which is the willingness to continue your own development, not to stop and to be stuck in your ideals or your ideas to the point where you become stale and old and decrepit and you fall to pieces. Your ideas can kill you and your ideas can bring you to life. Like I've said before in previous videos, your mentality affects your physicality. All of your thoughts, all of your feelings, all that makes up your mental landscape is what precedes and creates all of the physical. So mental comes before physical every single time. Before you were born, there was a concept of who you are. That concept is the beginnings of who you are. That was the mental form that preceded your very existence. And with all things, thought precedes action. You have to think through things before you go and do things. So your physical actions are things you have to do based upon the thoughts that you've had about what it is that you want to do. That is what I'm explaining. The mental comes before the physical. So if you want to affect the physical and you want to improve the physical, then you have to try and improve the mental. That's the step. That's the step you might be missing in your whole experiment of life, is thinking, no, I'll just do the physical and then that will change the physical. Yeah, you do the physical and that will change the physical to some degree, but you got to go through the mental, you got to go through the emotional, you got to go through the spiritual, you got to go through every realm of what makes up you as you, and you got to explore it to its fullest degree. Don't neglect any one of those. Give time and attention to all of them, and then your life is perfect. It is balanced, it is harmonious, and it is brilliant and beautiful. Alrighty then, it's been a little bit of time since we've done some reading. I don't know how many vlogs it's been. It's been like, I'd guess, probably 5 to 6 vlogs since I've read anything. So I'm going to read a little bit more from Wild Thing, The Short Spellbinding Life of Jimi Hendrix. Okay, we'll see how far we get, but I'm going to give it a go. For a year afterwards, none of Al's army pay got through to Lucille, forcing her to quit school and seek work in the clubs and dives up and down Jackson Street. Sometimes singing, for she had a good voice. Sometimes waitressing until her pregnancy was far advanced. The once innocent girl developed a taste for alcohol that quickly turned into a craving. On 27th of November 1942, she gave birth to a boy at Seattle's public Harborview Hospital. Al, by now stationed at Fort Rucker in Alabama, was refused special leave to see the baby and put into the stockade to prevent him from going AWOL. Immediately afterwards, his regiment shipped out for the Pacific. He was in Fiji before a photograph of his firstborn reached him. He complained that Lucille barely wrote to him while he was away fighting for his country, although never in any serious danger zone. In fairness, she had problems over and above that of becoming a teenage mother. Her father had died, bringing on a recurrence of the psychiatric problems that had always plagued her mother, and her family home had burned down, destroying everything in it. The war had brought about a huge increase in Seattle's black male population. To serve in the military bases created an expectation of a Japanese seaborne attack, or to work in the ship's yards on Puget Sound. Without Al's army pay or much support from his parents, who disapproved of her nocturnal life on Jackson Street, Lucille was forced to turn to other men for financial aid and to pay its inevitable price. Before long, Dear John letters began to reach Al, signed "A Friend," and informing him of his wife's infidelities and failures as a mother, apparently so serious that another couple were seeking to adopt their son. The explosive Al made no attempts to discover the truth of the matter, but from the far Pacific immediately started divorce proceedings. By the time he returned to Seattle, the baby was aged 3 and had been turned over, permanently it seemed, to a woman named Mrs. Champ, who lived in Berkeley, California, almost 800 miles to the south. Al immediately set out to reclaim him, never considering that to a 3-year-old, being suddenly snatched from a doting foster mother and carried off by a stranger would be inexplicable and frightening. Nor did the long rail journey back to Seattle engender much sympathy between long-lost father and bewildered son. "I gave him his first spanking on that train," Al would recall almost proudly in the autobiography, which at the time he had no idea he'd ever need to write. The tearful toddler's very name started the two of them off on the wrong foot. Without consulting Al, Lucille had decided on Johnny Allen, but tried to keep it from him as long as possible. The single baby photo that reached him in Fiji was captioned only "Baby Hendrix." She could not have picked anything more calculated to outrage the jealous Al, for a longshoreman and aspiring pimp she had been involved with, and whom he half suspected of being the baby's real father, was one John Page. After their return to Seattle, Al firmly re-registered Johnny Allen as James Marshall, his own official first name, and the middle one of his deceased older brother Leon. Much to his annoyance, however, the otherwise mild and tractable little boy steadfastly refused to answer to either James or Jimmy. He insisted on being called Buster, after Buster Crabbe, the movie actor who played both Tarzan and Flash Gordon. In the end, Al gave up trying to make his new nomenclature stick, and Buster it was. Far more serious was the discovery that he was left-handed, which many people still considered not far down the scale of Satan's signatures from surplus fingers. That such a further stigma should be added to the midget digit on each of his own hands horrified Al, and he set about correcting it in the only way he knew how. If ever Buster were caught using the wrong hand, he could expect an angry swipe around the head. The name in question and John Page notwithstanding, Al and Lucille decided to try to patch up their marriage. But the newly demobilized soldier had little taste for ordinary domesticity, and the former Jackson Street habitué not much more. Their home life soon became a continuous round of drunken parties that often ended in a screaming row between the two of them, and Lucille's disappearance, sometimes for hours, sometimes days or weeks. And for the timid, anxious child of this blighted union, Buster could have hardly been more inappropriate. He has left behind an autobiography of sorts in a Netflix documentary called Voodoo Child, compiled from stage and TV footage and interviews from his last 4 crowded years. In it, he is voiced by Bootsy Collins, formerly the virtuoso bass player with James Brown's stage band, who resembled him physically and speaks in the same caressing soft tones. Nowhere is there the slightest criticism of his father or his upbringing, although a great deal can be read between the lines. Dad was very strict and level-headed, but my mother liked dressing up and having a good time. She used to drink a lot and didn't take care of herself, but she was a groovy mother. Mostly my dad took care of me. He taught me that I must respect my elder always. I couldn't speak unless I was spoken to first by grown-ups, so I've always been quiet, but I saw a lot of things. A fish wouldn't get in trouble if he kept his mouth shut. I remember when I was only 4 and I wet my pants, I stayed out in the rain for hours so I would get wet all over and my mom wouldn't know. In 1948, Lucille had a second son, uncontroversially named Leon after Al's brother. In both build and temperament, Leon was clearly no longshoreman's progeny, but exactly like his father, and so received an indulgence Buster never had or would. He was always a good kid, quiet, never talked back, calm, Leon recalls. I was the one that rebelled against authority. Bodacious was our dad's word for me. However, both boys knew that crossing Al meant a beating, a whooping as they called it, with his thick leather belt. Lucille continued to have babies, but so frequent and lengthy had become her disappearances to unknown quarters that Al denied paternity of any of them. And although both Buster and Leon had been born whole and healthy, something like a curse now seemed to descend. A third son, Joseph, who arrived a year after Leon, had a cleft palate, a club foot, legs of unequal length, and a double row of teeth. A daughter, Kathy, was born prematurely in 1950, weighing only 1 pound and blind, needing care far beyond the power or pocket of her parents. She was immediately taken into a state institution. As all this chaos and agony eddied around them, Buster became Leon's only stability and shield. Many was the time he would take the blame for some misdeed of his kid brothers and receive the whooping in his place. During their parents' drunken fights, they would hide in a cupboard, Buster with arms wrapped protectively around Leon. He absorbed the negativity day after day, Leon recalls, and having no one to turn to for help, learned to lock his feelings deep inside. Al and Lucille divorced in 1951, with Al being awarded custody of Buster, Leon and the unfortunate Joe, but she continued to return to him spasmodically and children kept on coming, with Al denying paternity each time and the seeming curse relentless. A second daughter, Pamela, born in the year of the divorce, also had birth defects, less serious than her predecessors but still requiring institutional care, as did another son, Al Jr., born in 1953. By then, Joe's special needs had become too great a financial burden and he'd followed his 3 siblings into care, the difference this time being that Buster and Leon had to watch him being taken away. Al struggled to support his 2 remaining charges on mostly manual work, heaving animal carcasses around a slaughterhouse, sweeping up in a steel plant, pumping gas which seldom brought in more than $90 a month, although he had hopes of becoming an electrician and was studying the trade under the GI Bill, which provided further education for demobbed veterans. The 3 lived with various relatives and friends or in cheap boarding houses and short-term apartments in the Central District's grim housing projects, generally moving on after only a few weeks. It was, Leon Hendricks recalls, like a constant camping trip. When Al was not working, he would usually be out drinking, chasing women or gambling, sometimes losing a whole week's pay on a single throw of the dice, while the boys were left on their own. If he was in funds, he would hire someone to cook and care for them, but mostly they were reliant on the charity of neighbours. The black ladies and Jewish ladies in the Central District kind of adopted us, Leon says. Mrs. Weinstein made us matzo ball soup. Mrs. Jackson fried us chicken with mashed potatoes, and Mrs. Wilson, who had a little store there, washed our clothes for us and made us take a bath. Lucille would still periodically return to Al, creating the brief illusion of a reunited family. She tended to arrive during the night, and Buster and Leon would awaken to the smell of frying bacon or her speciality, brains and eggs. Despite her drinking, she was never other than sweet and loving to them both in equal measure, and they missed her desperately. Leon followed his brother everywhere in an existence without supervision or boundaries. Once, while they were playing on a railway line, his shoelace got caught in the rails just as the train was coming, and Buster pushed him clear with only seconds to spare. He saved me from drowning too when I fell into the Green River. As I was struggling in the water, I remember a dead pig floated by. Then he dove in and life saved me to the bank. Al's continual moves around the city meant Buster continually had to change schools, with no time to settle down at anyone. His grades, consequently, were never more than mediocre, despite his sponge-like ability to soak up knowledge. I never saw him read a book, Leon recalls, yet he could tell you about all the planets in the universe. He had a talent for drawing and spent hours on his medieval knights, racing cars, football players, and caricatures, always taking care that Al didn't catch him using the wrong hand. Unknowingly, he was following the same trajectory as naturally creative but undisciplined British boys like John Lennon, Keith Richards, and Eric Clapton. Although, unlike them, he had no sympathetic teacher to notice his ability and urge that he be sent to art school. From an early age, he showed himself to be a natural athlete, able to run at extraordinary speed, and so equally good at baseball and football, even then keeping a brotherly eye on Leon in the Little League games on the same field. His happiest childhood photos show him grinning from inside a cheek-hugging football helmet, but he was always painfully conscious of his shabby hand-me-down sports clothes and equipment, and the crude haircuts performed by Al, which earned him the school nickname of Slick Bean. Like most lonely children, he adored animals and was always bringing home stray dogs that had followed him in the street and pleading with his father to be allowed to keep them. Al had no desire for an extra mouth to feed, and anyway, their temporary lodgings usually made it impossible. But finally, one fortunate mutt he named Prince Buster did get to stay. Wild creatures fascinated him, especially the deer he sometimes glimpsed in Washington's and British Columbia's expansive national parks, and to which he felt an almost spiritual connection like a stirring of his Native American genes. The vivid dreams he had every night, always in brilliant colour, included a recurrent, mystifying set of numbers, 1, 9 and 2 sixes, which gave him strange feelings that I was here for something and I was going to get a chance to be heard. In their visibly neglected state, he and Leon inevitably came to the notice of Seattle's welfare authorities. Thanks to Al's dire warnings, they lived in terror of following their 2 brothers and 2 sisters into care, where they would undoubtedly be separated. We were always hiding and ducking from the welfare officers, Leon recalls. While we were home alone, we'd keep the drapes drawn and the lights out and never answer when somebody knocked at the door. Although they never went hungry, there was no being finicky about their food like other boys their age. Horsemeat burgers we used to have, 'cause they only cost a nickel each. Buster had a job sweeping up a butcher's shop, and one day the shopkeeper gave him a whole tongue to bring home. Life became its least stressful and most normal when the boys were sent across the Canadian border to stay with their grandmother Zenora in Vancouver. She was strict with Buster, spanking him for wetting his bed, with no thought of the emotional state that caused it. But she also dressed him up in a little tasseled Mexican jacket which he loved, and told him stories about her days in minstrel shows and his slave great-grandmother and Cherokee great-great-grandmother. Years later, one of the myths he would spin around himself was that Zenora had been the Cherokee and that he used to stay with her on an actual reservation. Before he ever played music, it was obviously inside him, Leon says. He'd tell Grandma he had all these weird sounds in his head, and she'd swab out his ears with baby oil. He was hearing music, but he didn't have an instrument to bring it to earth. Around the age of 12, he began strumming a broom handle along with music he heard on the radio. He played air guitar before anyone knew that air guitar existed, says his brother. I'm sure that if he'd gotten a piano before he did a guitar, he'd have been just as great on that. Al was by now working for himself as a landscape gardener, although the job equally consisted of clearing unwanted rubbish and selling it for whatever he could get. He would dragoon his sons into helping him, and one day, on a garbage pile, Buster found a beaten-up ukulele with a single string hanging loose. Al's first thought was that it might fetch a couple of dollars, but Buster begged to be allowed to keep it. He was intrigued to discover that if he twisted one of the end pegs, the solitary string could be tautened to produce a musical note when he plucked it. So interesting was the result, Leon recalls, that he went around trying the same technique on everything he could think of, from rubber bands to pieces of string tied between 2 bedposts. In 1955 he turned 13, and so was no longer the concern of Seattle's welfare authorities. 8-year-old Leon, however, was finally netted, taken, shrieking, from his father and brother and placed in foster care. But he proved impossible to tame, running away from a series of foster homes or being thrown out of them and finding his way back to Al and Buster's latest domicile. 1955 also happened to be the year when Elvis Presley outraged America as the first white vocalist to perform with the uninhibitedness of black ones, and black R&B music, rebranded as rock and roll, aroused its white teenage population to mass frenzy. Racism fought back with all the unrestrained weapons at its command. Presley was condemned and derided for propagating the jungle music, until then as strictly segregated as restrooms, lunch counters, and drinking fountains, and thereby likely to corrupt and debase young white people as much as it did black ones. Since there was no ignoring its commercial opportunities, however, R&B songs like Ivory Joe Hunter's Shake, Rattle and Roll, Roy Brown's Good Rocking Tonight, and Little Richard's Tutti Frutti, with their barely disguised sexual and, in Richard's case, homosexual jokery, were put out in watered-down cover versions by white performers like Pat Boone and Ricky Nelson, in which form a number entered the mainstream record charts. The long tradition of stealing from black musicians reached an unprecedented high. Buster was fascinated by Presley. His technicolor clothes, borrowed from country music, his supposedly obscene body movements, and the guitar that was so essential a part of the exploding package. Forgetting ball players and racing cars, he drew an elaborate portrait of Presley, surrounded by his song titles like Blue Suede Shoes, Don't Be Cruel, and Paralyzed. The Pelvis's trail of Hysteria Rent concerts included one at Six Baseball Stadium in Seattle, but the $1.50 ticket price being way beyond Buster, he could only watch from the hill above the stadium, seeing little more of Presley than a hyperactive dot. He used to sing Elvis songs to me to make me go to sleep, Leon recalls. My favourite was Love Me Tender. Over the following months, Al Hendrix's fortunes... Okay, we're going to stop there. So we got up to Love Me Tender, okay. Oh, that was a good 17 minutes. Okay, not a bad read so far. Yeah, I'm enjoying the start of that book. It's basically a biography of the life of Jimi Hendrix. So a lot of what I was just talking about there was all about his like parents and their lives leading up to when Jimmy was born. So yeah. Reshuffle the pack. Reshuffle the deck. Mix up those cards. Let's not keep it just predictable. Let's not have everything in order. We know what everything looks like when it's in order. You buy a pack of cards, it's in order. So what? You're going to just keep your cards in order. That's what you're going to do. No. You want to play some games. You're going to play some games? You got to shuffle the deck, mix things up. That means when you turn over the next card, you don't know what it's going to be. But that's the only fair way to play a game. You can't play a game unless you shuffle the deck first. What are you doing? What are you doing? What the hell are you doing? Keeping your cards there all precious and nice and, oh, look at that. Never used. As if that's a virtue. Never used. You know what that says about you? You don't even know how to play the game. Dummy. Because you got your cards in order. You want to play the game, you've got to shuffle the deck. And that means losing your order. Losing the order that you like so much. Philosophies on life have to be broad and general. And the reason for that is so that they can apply to as many situations as possible. You can speak a small amount of words and many people can get many things from just those small amount of words. And that's what a good story does. That's why people are still talking about Jesus thousands of years later. Because he was such a good storyteller. It's true. So, it's not quite Monday yet, but very soon it will be Monday, and this is Monday's video. However, I usually start the video the night before, so it's now currently Sunday night. It's 10:54 p.m. But I'm just thinking about what's going on tomorrow, and what is going on tomorrow is that there will be a couple of people at least coming round to collect some furniture. There may be more than that. There may be more people than that coming round. I'm not sure. I have to see if I get any more messages through Facebook. And then that will let me know if there's anything else going on. If you're not aware, this is my daily video. And all I do is just update Cameron the camera, who's keeping me company, with whatever's going on in my life. And as I always say to everybody who watches this video, if you don't like this video, then fuck off. I don't give a shit. Don't watch it, you fucking daft cunt. If you don't like it, fuck off. Alright? And if you want to stick around and you don't mind a bit of language like that, then there's plenty to laugh at. There's plenty to learn. I'm only here to entertain and to educate. And fingers crossed, bring a few smiles to a few faces. I'm not really here to insult, but I always remind people, if you don't want to watch this video, don't watch it. I don't want to hear your complaints. I don't want your comments. If you want to tell me how much you liked it because you actually liked it, go ahead, feel free. But I don't need that either. I don't really care all that much. I just don't want to hear about it if you don't like it, because you don't have to watch this. No one's making you watch it. So I'll just repeat myself. If you don't like this video, fuck off and stop watching it, you silly, stupid prick. Okay? I think I got that one through there. I should probably go to sleep soon. I think I need a bit of shut eye just to let my thoughts from the day filter through, and that might make me slightly more calm. As you can see, I got slightly agitated in the last shot, or previously in the video. I'm not sure if it was the last shot, but it was just before in the video. But I'm going to try and calm down a little bit, not get so agitated. I might even cut it out of the video, the shot that I'm talking about, because I don't know if I really want to appear that way. If anyone watches my videos, I don't want to seem quite so aggressive. I think maybe the trouble with this video style content is I could be picturing someone quite specific, and so in the shot that I'm taking, I'm talking to them, but anyone who's watching could apply that bit of information to themselves as if it has something to do with them, when it doesn't. Or maybe it does if they make it that way. But it's kind of tricky to know what's the best approach for making this kind of content. I think because it's so new, at least to me. So I have to go through more experimentation before I get a better idea of what it's really like. And there's lots and lots and lots of people who've been doing all this social media kind of stuff, like making YouTube videos, for like over a decade. Maybe they've been doing it like every day for over a decade. And that to me is just incredible. Like, I'm so far behind. I don't know why. Why didn't I join in? I have no idea. I should have done. I wish I had. I regret not doing it. But oh well. At least I'm in the game now. At least I'm playing the game. At least I'm giving it a go. That might be more important than wasting time on regret. Thinking about what could have been. It couldn't have been because it didn't be. I think that's the important thing to remember. And that if I have any regrets of things that I wish I'd have done, I should just, take those forward into the future as motivation. Or even better, into the present. And do the things that I wish I'd have done now. Or as soon as I possibly can. At least try to work towards being able to make them happen. But this goal is quite a straightforward one. Just to make a YouTube video every day. It's not really that difficult. Anyone could do it. But I'm not sure that anyone can do it. Or anyone would do it. But I decided that I can do it. And that I will do it. Because I want to do it. And so I'm doing it. And so I think that's why I get slightly agitated. Thinking that anyone would try to have an opinion of me. And say that there's any reason that I shouldn't do it. Because there isn't any reason that I shouldn't do it. And it is my decision. And it's no one else's. So that's why I say, if you don't like it, and you don't think I should be making this video, or you have some sort of criticism of it, just piss off. Just stop watching the video. And then don't watch them again. I don't give a flying fuck whether you watch this or not. And if you think I do, you're out of your fucking mind. You really need to think about that. Stop being such a cunt. Alright? No matter what plans that I have, I'll just continue to make a video every day. And everything that's going on, I'll explain it. And everything that I'm thinking about, and everything I'm feeling, I'll just talk about it to the camera. And that'll make everything okay. That'll mean that whatever situation is going on, I'll be alright. I'm really eradicating the possibility of failure from every little inch of my entire mind and thoughts at the moment. I've just laid down for like a couple of hours and I'm just thinking through all the possibilities of everything that could happen. But I have to keep reminding myself that none of the sort of bad things that I'm scared of happening are actually going to happen ever again. And that from this point on, my life is only going to keep improving more and more every day. And it's all true. As long as I have my video here to talk to, then I'm always going to have a friend and I'm always going to have company. All the other people who appear and disappear will be there to talk to when they're there, and they won't when they're not. But the one person who's never going to go away is this camera. And I can just keep talking to this camera for as long as I want about whatever I want. So that's like free psychotherapy. I can get everything off my chest until I've let it all go and I feel better. And as long as I can do that, I don't think I'm ever really gonna struggle again in the same way. As long as I keep going, as long as I keep up the process, as long as every time I have a thought of like insecurity and I'm trying to run through ideas of like what I can do to make everything okay. If I have the camera there to do that with, then I can run all these thoughts out loud, I can review them, and then I can come up with solutions, because there is a solution to every apparent problem that appears. And I don't think now I'm ever again really going to get stuck in problem consciousness. I don't think I'm going to be thinking like that anymore. Not in the way that I have been. I really think that from now on, I'm only going to be seeing much more positives on a much more in a much more consistent way. Because of this huge shift in mentality that's come about from having this like patient persistence with just honestly sharing what it is that's going on. And now I've got plans moving forward where I can basically see no failure. Because every step of the way, no matter what's happening, I'm just going to be explaining it to Cameron the camera, thinking out loud, and then very quickly thereafter coming to find solutions just by thinking them through. I mean, I've done it over and over again now for like 39 days. And today's going to be day 40. So I've already sort of proven to myself that whatever I have on my mind that's bothering me as like a potential issue, now I've sort of proven that the more that I talk about it, the more I can work through the idea of it. And then the more potential solutions that arise. And there's always a potential solution to everything. Really, no matter what I do, if anything happens that is not the way I want it to be, then I can very quickly come up with a solution now if a solution needs to be created. Or I can just let it go if that's a possibility and that is the solution. So I was just laying in bed and I was thinking back to years and years and years and years and years and years. And years ago, the kinds of things that I was thinking at that time and the way I was living my life and the experiences I was having and everything, I was thinking back through it all. And then I realized I've changed so much as a person. I've developed so incredibly much as a person that I just can't see myself ever now accepting the kinds of circumstances that I did in the way that I used to. I really think that now I'd straight away be talking about whatever was going on very quickly. At least just to my vlog camera. And then just constantly refiguring out what it is that I can do. I'm much, much, much more persistent now. And if I figure out that I want something, I really do keep trying to make it happen until it does happen. And I didn't used to be quite so persistent. I didn't used to have that ability quite as much because I was lacking in self-confidence. And that left me in like a many situations where life was not going my way and I wasn't really doing much about it. And I don't think I would accept that anymore. I don't think I would get into that position ever again. I think now I've learned all the routes out, literally. I've learned all the ways through specific situations, and I've discovered the way out of reaching the kind of places that I have been to before. So I can't see it happening again. Now I can just see successes. And I really do think there's a huge sea change in the fortune that's ahead of me and my luck. And I really, really, really honestly think there's a lot of very, very good things that are going to happen in my future. There's a really a lot of good experiences coming my way, a lot of good fortune and a lot of success. I can see it very clearly now, and I'm not seeing any of the kinds of the negative sort of possibilities for the future that I would sort of obsess over at one point. Now it's not even that I'm not obsessing over them. Now I don't even see them. And also, like, the second that the thoughts even pop up of like the possibility of not achieving my goals, not achieving my dreams, not actually being successful, it's like there's a switch that comes on so quickly, and it just takes all of that out, all of the imagery, all of the ideas, all the thoughts of that. It takes it all out, and then it just replaces it again with like, no, you can't fail. Everything's going to be all right. You're going to be successful. It's going to be great. Don't worry about it. Don't even think about it. Just keep talking to the camera about whatever it is you think, and it'll all get figured out in that dialogue or that monologue. I'll figure it all out as I'm talking, and anything that I need to think is what I'm going to think, and it's going to come out perfectly in the right moment in a way that is going to make everything work out, and it's just going to get better and better. I'm just going to see more and more successes, and all my life situations and circumstances are just going to keep improving consistently. All I have to do is stay on the path and keep sharing whatever's going on with me, and there'll be a way that appears before me, and all I really have to do is just follow along with what just seems right in the moment, what seems like a great idea. It's kind of like you'll only do the things that you absolutely cannot say no to, even if you wanted to. So as those situations keep appearing, and you realize that you just can't say no, and you just end up going along with whatever's happening, even if you think you don't want to. That's all you have to do, is keep moving along with the situations that take you forward. But here's the thing as well. You'll never think you don't want to go along with the situations that appear when they're the perfect ones for you. And I really do believe they're all already lined up and just waiting and ready to go. And all it takes is for me to continue following the thread that I'm connected to through my mentality, through my thoughts, through my feelings. As long as I'm connected to that intuitive sense of where to go, what to do, when to do what to say, how to act, how to be, all of that, as long as I'm connected to all of that, then I just simply can't go wrong. Like, everything is just going to be perfect because I'm following the divine plan, God's plan, the one that is laid out for me, and it's a perfect plan. I really think everything's been set up already to be absolutely ideal, and I know that all the people involved in this process, they all want to see me succeed. They all want to see me win, to enjoy continuous successes. So I'm just reconnecting to that place of totally understanding what my position in life is to be. And it really could not be more simple. It's just all I have to do, my only responsibility, is to do exactly what I feel and exactly what I think. And that is all it will take to get to a place of perfection. That's all it will take. Quite easy, right? Danny and Gary is such a great channel. I've been watching their videos for like a few hours now, just one after the other. And they work so well together. And their food reviews together are so good. I really like what they're doing right now. And I just wanted to give them that compliment on my video. Not that my opinion matters. My channel is nothing like theirs whatsoever. It's so far away. It's so far away. But yeah, those guys are great, and I'm gonna keep watching them. I really like the format of the food review. I didn't really think that I actually liked food reviews before all that much. I really didn't. But I think these guys have really made me start to appreciate them and like them. I've always liked watching Gordon Ramsay, but he's not exactly a food review in the same way. His shows and everything. They have an element of that, but there's a lot more to it than that. But yeah, Danny and Gary, great channel, and I'm really enjoying watching those videos right now. I'm gonna make music again. I'm gonna find some people to do it with. It's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be really interesting to have another go at that. I've never really stopped. I'm always making music. But well, the only people that I've been playing with, I don't know, the last couple of years, it's not really been anything like serious enough to take it anywhere. It's just been pure fun and stupidity, and it's been so great. I wouldn't change it for anything for the world. But yeah, I'm looking for a few more people to play with that can do the fun side, do the stupid side, and do all the playful kind of stuff, and just to mess around and make some noise, but make some funny little songs to play for people. That's what I'd like to do again. Maybe I wouldn't like that. I don't know. It's just an idea. I can see it happening. But yeah, it's got to be super, super, super free, fun, light-hearted, enjoyable, and just playful. That's going to be the only way I'm going to get involved, because I'm not getting involved with anything that's a bit too. What's the word? I don't know. Anyway, that's what I'm looking for. I've got a lot to do, really. Thinking about it, but I'm in high demand. So what am I supposed to do when I'm just getting called from all angles to do so many different things? I can't say yes to everything as much as I'd like to. But you know what? I will be doing a lot more. And it's going to be more musical stuff. Like I was saying, the last couple of years, I kind of took a different kind of path and was working on like a variety of different things, but all just with the intention of just helping people. And I think that's the most important thing to me, is just helping people, through whatever they're going through, with whatever it is they need help with. And there's not like one set of skills that's going to give you the best possible outcome in every situation. So you got to develop like a variety of different skills and abilities, not just stick to one thing, but figure out how to be a bit of a jack of all trades and know a little bit about this, a little bit about that, a lot about this, a lot about that. Figure out lots of different ways to do things. And there are lots of different ways to do things, obviously. But yeah, I feel like the gravitational pull is taking me back to that place again. Can't can't, cannot be named for legal reasons. No, I'm joking. Um, but I think that means I'm just going to be really focusing in again on making music, and it's going to be something fun, something friendly, and just for a laugh, really. I don't really see any reason to do it for much more than just a laugh. Um, that's all it ever really has been to me, you know. That's all it ever really was. It was all. It was only ever just a bit of fun, and if there's a way to do it more, I don't necessarily want that. Uh, if it's not enjoyable to me, I only ever wanted to do it because I enjoyed it. So if I stopped enjoying it, I stopped wanting to do it. So I never wanted to push things quite as far as the other people who went to my university really did in terms of their musical careers or whatever. um, I just wanted to play. That's all I ever wanted to do, and that's the only reason I ever liked it. It was just a way to play, playing music. It's um, it's fun for me to do that, and there may be a time when I feel differently about it, and I try to see it in a new way. But really, I'm already all good in terms of like what I'm doing, how I've set my life up, the way that like my finances work and all that stuff. I'm already pretty good. I don't really need to be doing anything for the sake of like, oh, I have to make money or something. Yeah, I don't really care about that, and I don't want to do it for those reasons. Um, if it reaches a place of like people like us and they want to support us, then I'll say okay. But I'm going to take that and I'm going to support them back. I'm going to do as much as I can for them. If they want to do something for us, I'll do something back for them. I'll do as much as I can back for them, and that'll be the way that goes. But I'm not looking for the same kind of thing that I feel like other people were looking for at all, and I never really was. And that's why I didn't really go in the direction those kinds of people went in. They all went off in their own directions and started doing things. I didn't want to do that. I was thinking like, why would I want to do that? I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. And for me, whatever I wanted to do was not what everybody else wanted to do. Because why would I want to do what everybody else wanted to do? I would do what everyone else wanted to do if I thought what everyone else wanted to do was good. And I also wanted to do what everyone else wanted to do. And I liked what everyone else wanted to do. And I wanted to do it too. But if I didn't, and I didn't, then I didn't want to. So I didn't. And that's just the way it happened. So I carried on playing with the people that I liked um, outside of that university. I carried on playing with a whole a whole load of different people. The kinds of people that I thought were cool, the kinds of people that I thought were fun. And we all had like a shared philosophy on why we liked playing music, and that included keeping it light-hearted most of the time. Sometimes we'd play a bit of like um, heavy metal just for a bit of light relief, but even that is just super fun. There's a super fun way to do that. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't know why I'm saying it. But I'm saying it. It has been said. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I didn't know my face could look like that. Why is my bottom lip so big? Wow. I can make my bottom lip look massive. This is who I am now. I have become a freak. I was watching the Mighty Boosh live stage show before, and it was pretty good. But I saw you can buy the Mighty Boosh series. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. You can buy the Mighty Boosh series on YouTube, and I've got them on DVD, but I'm gonna be giving them away soon because I'm giving away everything. No, not everything. I'm just giving away a bunch of stuff to a charity shop, and that is some of what I'm going to give away. DVDs. I don't really use DVDs anymore. I mean, I don't say I don't really use DVDs anymore. I don't use DVDs anymore at all. But I do love the Mighty Boosh. So it's kind of like sad, like, oh, I don't want to get rid of it. I really like the Mighty Boosh. But I was thinking, I might just start collecting the TV shows that I like if they sell them on YouTube. Because, like, if you just buy, I think you can buy the whole season of the Mighty Boosh for $12.99 on YouTube. And then that would just be like connected to your account at that point. I don't know how long for, but I would have to assume that it would just be forever and a day. But so that would just mean, oh, I can just if I want to watch the Mighty Boosh, I just watch it on YouTube because I own it, and it might be cool to have just a collection of like the shows that I like online instead of having the DVDs because I don't know, like if I move around from place to place to place as I like to do, um, then it's all just there, like on your account, and it's all just like, data on the cloud, uploaded to the web, on the net, man. It's all just that, and like you don't need to carry around DVDs and CDs and have big boxes full of all that as you move from place to place and have big portions of the rooms in your house taken up by all of that. You can just have it in your computer. I mean, even if you get a different computer, you still got it on your um you still got it on your YouTube account. So, I don't know. 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 Sounds like a good idea to me. Sounds like a good idea to me. Yep. Yeah. I was just thinking about this great magician that I saw one time performing in in Leeds City Centre. He did this incredible trick. I don't know how he did it. He had a bunch of numbers on a grid, and he made them all add up to the same number in every direction. But I stuck around and I watched him. And I watched him do it again. And he did it again with a different number. And he would ask random people to give him the number in order to do this trick. I couldn't figure out quite how he did it. It's some kind of mathematical trick that he did. But it was very impressive. And then he threw a playing card on top of a building, and he kept shouting, "I am going to throw a playing card on top of this building." And he was pointing to the building. I just remember it was really sunny. And I'd just come back from London from playing some shows there. And then I had to go to Leeds. Can't remember what I was doing there. But then I saw this magician guy. And I just watched him. And I just remember the sun just being so beautiful. And I really miss the sun being so beautiful. It's not been quite the same since the coronavirus pandemic. I just haven't felt the same feelings that I had before that all happened. I just had all this like bliss and joy, and there was so much light in my life. Like the sun was always shining. I had so much optimism. I was so happy. But I know I'm going to go back there to that way again. I'm already on my way back there. I just miss that feeling of the summer and the sun and like beauty all around you, and then like happy smiling faces, and oh man, it was such a good feeling. It's just some things that will just never come back again. I don't know how to get it back. And maybe I never will. I have to consider that's a possibility. I don't think it's likely. I think it will come back again. But I'm still just so lucky and grateful that it appeared in the first place. That I got to feel that way. That I got to see that light. That I got to feel that joy. Maybe one day I'll be so lucky. Anyway, I think I'm gonna try and sleep some more now. I think it's around 1 a.m. So I'll try and get some sleep. And then come back again tomorrow. Alright. Good night. It's 10 a.m. I just woke up. I'm making coffee in the kitchen. How you doing? Nice to see ya. Another day, another opportunity. 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 Hey. It's coffee time. Let's get this show on the road. $10:41 a.m. I know what the first thing I need to do is. Let's check my bank account. I don't want to check my bank account. I'm too scared to check my bank account. I don't want to check my bank account. I'm too scared to check my bank account. Check my bank account. Check my bank account. Check my bank account. Check it. Check it. Boom, boom, boom. Check it. Check it. Oh, check it. Check it. Boom, boom, boom. Check it. Check it. Oh. I don't want to check my bank account. I'm too scared to check my bank account. I don't want to check my bank account. I'm too scared to check my bank account. Check my bank account. Check my bank account. Check my bank account. Down. Shit. Why is the computer not connecting to the screen? There's always something, isn't there? I don't want to. Okay, there we go. It's connected. I'm too scared to. I don't want to check my bank account. I'm too scared to check my bank account. Check my bank account. Check my bank account. Check my bank account. But then. Okay. Oh, come on. Whoa, what the hell was that? Jeez. Right. Bank. Reason I need to check my bank account is to see if the money has gone in. I'm waiting for. And if it has, that's good. Oh Jesus. Out of here! Out of here! Oh. Out of here! Ah, oh, fuck it out. Okay, cut. Oh, okay. Yeah, the money has gone in. That's good. It's 10:45 a.m. right now. I'm not expecting anyone to come round until, I think they said between 4 and 6. So that means between now and 4, I better go out, get some cash, and then come back. So that I got some cash to pay the people that are coming round. First sip. Oh, it tastes good. Every day the same thing on this vlog. I don't know how else to do it. I gotta have some coffee. Otherwise I just feel terrible. Slow. Sluggish. I don't want to be a slow, sluggish slug. I might actually make another one straight away because that was actually not as strong as I sometimes make it. But that did actually mean that it was slightly more drinkable. I didn't have to pull any faces. When I make it strong, I have to pull faces in reaction. Right, come on, coffee beans, go in the cup. Yes, right. I don't want to check my bank account. I'm too scared to check my bank account. I don't want to check my bank account. I'm too scared to check my bank account, check my bank account, check my bank account, check my bank account. You know who that is? It's Lewis Cole again. My favourite. What a dude. Don't know him, but I've seen him live. And I love his music. I'm glad to say that I'm back on track. Everything's going really well recently. And I really do think it's because I've introduced this routine, this structure into my life. And it was such a simple fix. Now I just have to keep doing it. So, so, just had a pretty decent crap. Always a good way to start the day. Maybe that can be a new part of the vlog. Maybe I'll talk about my bowel movements. So, if you look around this room, see all that furniture, all of that's going to go. All of that's going to go today. And I'm very glad. I'm very happy to sell this house because I don't really want to live here anymore. Tired of it. Bored of it. What I used to do to try and rejuvenate the atmosphere would be to get someone else to come live here. But now I just want to sell the place and move on. I don't really actually want the responsibility of ownership. Or if I do get another place now, I'll just get an investment property. One that's already rented out to somebody where I can buy it and own it. And then I just take an income from a tenant. I don't really know how hands-off or hands-on that is though. Because I think there's certain situations where the estate agents involved in the letting would act as the property manager. And then there's other situations where the landlord would act as the property manager. The landlord meaning the person who owns the property. I don't really want to act as the property manager for anywhere again. So if I were to get an investment opportunity, then I would want one where the estate agents act as the property manager. So what happens in that case is basically I would just buy that property. Let's say there's a property that costs £70,000 and it's making about £15,000 a year. I would just pay that 70,000 to be the legal owner of the property. And in return for that, I'd get like £15,000 a year. So that would mean having a consistent income that was coming from that. But I would need multiple income streams, as that's not a great deal of money, 15 grand a year. It's okay as like a supplementary amount of income. and it would depend on whether I was renting or buying for myself. I'm pretty sure at the moment I'm going to rent for myself, and I'm just going to stay in the best possible place that I can. So I'm putting myself into a better position in terms of the ability to actually make an income stream, because there's much more likelihood of that happening in London than there is where I am right now. There's opportunities where I live right now available, but nowhere near as many, and nothing like the variety of the kinds of positions that can be found in London. Things that are much more enjoyable that I'd like to do. Those kinds of jobs are available over there. They're not really available here. Or they might be, but I don't seem to know about them. But either way, being in London increases the odds of being able to find work. That's an absolute given. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. So I'm going back there to put myself in the best position that I can physically. And I feel like now that I'm mentally, emotionally, spiritually in a much better position than I used to be, I think it'll be much easier for me to find what it is I'm looking for when I'm in the right place. So that's my plan after I sell this house, is to rent. I guess I'm going to rent for 1 year. That's the plan. And in that 1 year, I'm going to do everything I can to look for opportunities that seem like the right opportunities for me. And I'm sure it's doable. I'm sure it's possible. And if it's not, then at least I get to spend a year in the city I love. And there's no real loss at all at any point. Like, if I'm paying rent for a year, it costs me whatever it costs me. It's probably, I don't know, for a year, it's probably at least £12,000, because it's going to be like at least around £1,000 a month for the rent. So I'd expect it to be £12,000 or more, but more likely more than that for a year staying in London. I'm quite happy to pay that. And if at any point in the future I decide that I want to buy property again, then I will. But right now, I want to rent, because it's not really possible for me to buy property in London working with the kind of money that I'll be getting from selling this house. So I can only do what I can do. And that's what I'm going to do. But if I get a high paid enough position in London and I start doing something great, I start doing something that I really like to do, I could start making more money than I've ever seen before, then I'll consider what I'm going to do then. That's possible, that's probable. I'd say that's definitely going to happen. So when that happens, I'll figure out what I'll do. I'd like to buy a property in London eventually. But as long as I'm living there, it's really not such a big deal. And if anything, I'd much rather own like several investment properties and have the income from them before I even considered getting another property for myself. So these are all my thoughts. It's all going to work out just great. And I've just got to keep taking it one step at a time, one day at a time. And my main focus is just making this video. I was going to say, making this video every day is like, it's like taking my turn in Monopoly. Like you go around the board to each person and you each take your turn. And you don't know what's going to happen when you take your turn because it's all down to the roll of the dice. But you have to take your turn every time it's your turn to take your turn. So that's like what this video is. It's me taking my turn. And every day I'm just rolling the dice and seeing what happens. And obviously the Monopoly metaphor is there, is strong present in my head because of what I was just talking about. Buying properties, selling properties. But yeah, I can really see a sustainable future for myself in London. I can see real longevity there. And I can really see that being there will make it much easier to make the kind of moves that I want to make. But it's still going to be a daily struggle. And I don't want the daily struggle to go away. That's how you stay fit and strong and everything. So I guess the next question is, what are the kind of opportunities that I'm going to be looking for in London? And the answer to that is, well, I'm just going to keep talking to my camera regularly about what it is that I'm thinking. And as far as I know now, that's all I really have to do to figure out what it is that I want to do. I'm not currently looking on any job sites or anything here in Lancashire. And the reason for that is because I'm not looking for a job here. And the reason that I'm not looking for a job here is because I'm selling my house and I'm moving. But once I've moved, I'll most definitely start searching those websites again. And there are guaranteed far more positions available over there for pretty much anyone and everyone that you could possibly imagine. So I believe it'll be much easier for me to find something that I want to do. And there is a possibility that I could take on a regular role, although I'm not sure any sort of role job presented is just completely without its quirks and charms and characters. And that would be really the main reasons that I'm getting involved is I want to be on the quirky side of business to find the um, eccentricities that can be experienced through certain kinds of work. And that's my interest. So those are all the ideas that are coming up as being what I think I would like, the picture that I have for myself of the future. But I don't know either where this vlogging thing is going to go. I don't know if at any point this is going to bring me any sort of success at all. But I'm not really going to stop doing it at this point. I've had so much inspiration and support the last couple of years from a lot of different people, and it's put me into this position now. All that love and the support they've given me. So I feel like I've got grace on my side because of that. And so for that reason, I'm not worried at all. I really feel like I'm doing the right thing. And I'm not scared of what the results are going to be. I'm just gonna go do whatever it is that I want to do. And now more than ever, I feel really connected to that ability to actually do that. I'm taking all my decision-making processes back into my own sense of self-control again. So I feel like I'm back in control of my own life and my own decisions. And you know, if I'm making a bunch of mistakes, I'm happy to do it because at least I'm the experimenter. At least it's my choice to do that. And really, how do you learn lessons without making mistakes? I mean, truly, there are no mistakes. There's just experiences that don't go your way, and you learn and you grow from them. That it's only other people who categorize those as mistakes, and sometimes we will sort of empathize with their categorization, and then use that to um, tell ourselves that we've made a mistake. I don't believe in mistakes at this point. So, like, I'm just headed where I'm headed to. And I'm taking an active part in that process, in the decision making process. And that obviously means that I'm not going to be like everybody else. Although there's lots of people who are just like me also. But I'm now very excited for what's coming. I've got a clear enough picture of the future to know where I'm going, but not clear enough to actually ruin the surprises that I'm sure are waiting. And I wouldn't want to take the fun out of the surprise of what's going to happen, because that's where all the interest is, in the novelty of the experience. But yes, I am still excited about taking myself from this part of the Monopoly board to the other side of the board, the good side, so to speak. And if I put myself on the good side of the board, I can see myself making a lot more of that Monopoly money. And then that is going to make for a much more interesting exploration. I can't wait to see where it goes. I've had a good run so far, and I've done all right. I've done pretty well. I've done very well. And I've created this like strength and stability now that is going to continue. It's going to continue on. It's going to continue forward, moving into the future. But sorry, not but, and it's going to be better than it's ever been. There's going to be so much more going on, and there's going to be a lot more great videos coming. This vlog is probably going to get much more exciting, much more quickly, because of all the changes that are taking place right now for me personally. And those constant changes right now are what is keeping me going. And I'm not going to stop being as excited as I am. Maybe I will stop being so excited at some point, but I just can't see it happening. If there's another new direction to go in, if there's another place to find, if there's another opportunity that exists, and it just keeps continuing on and on and on, that to me is very, very, very interesting and very, very, very exciting. And I just want to keep finding out what happens when I just keep following the golden thread, so to speak. So that's where I am right now, mentally. Excited for the future, excited for the present, what's taking place today. This bed here, this bed frame, and this couch, this armchair that I'm sitting on. They're both going, both being taken away. And then the rest of the stuff in this room, see these piles of stuff. I think that's going to be explored through and sorted through by a friend of mine. Again, possibly, who I believe is coming around today. I've got to go through it all again because there's a lot more stuff that needs to go in the bin. And, well, because everything has to be separated out into, this is trash, this is treasure, so to speak. So I've got to do that work, rifling through all this stuff, separating trash from treasure. I'm not like super stressed about getting it all done very quickly right now because at the present moment there's no sale taking place, there's no move out date. But once I get a move out date and I'm sure exactly when it is that I'm going to leave, then I'll have a bit of pressure to motivate me to get what I need to do, to get what I need to get done. There is a photographer that's coming over on Thursday. So it's currently Monday. So that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 days. And I do, I guess, want to make it look nice for the photographer. But if it looks how it looks, then that's just the way it is. I'm not sure if the way it looks in terms of the stuff, the belongings, the possessions that are actually in the room will actually affect the sale. It might do, but I'm willing to find out whether that's true or not. So I'm ready to do the experiment of finding out what's going to happen. So either way, I'm not too worried about it, and it takes as long as it takes. So I'm okay with being here for as long as I am, as long as I know that I'm going to be getting out of here pretty soon enough. I don't know exactly how long it's going to be. There's no way to even say that right now until it goes up for sale. Then I'll be able to talk about the viewings that get set up. Then after the viewings, I'll be able to talk about if there's any offers. And if there's any offers, then that's pretty much it. If they offer a reasonable figure and I accept it, then that's it. The house is sold. And at that point, I think they can still pull out of the sale for some reasons. But I don't think that's very likely. And then even if they do that, I can always just find another buyer. So apparently I've been told it's not such a big deal. I don't have to think about it that much or stress about it or worry about it. It's all going to be okay. It's all going to go through fine. That's what I've been told. So I have trust and I believe that that's true. And once that's done, then everything's going to change again. However, for now, I need to come back and focus on what it is that I'm doing right now. And I think what it is that I'm doing right now is that I'm going to have to go downstairs, drink my other coffee, and then I'm going to send a message to one of my mates. Send a message to one of my mates and see what he's doing. Okay, so I've charged the battery on this camera for a little bit. Now it's at 49%. It's not what I would like, but I'm now going to be going out. I just spoke to Lewis on the phone, and he's just been in the library, and now he's going into town. So I'm going to meet him there, but I've got to get some cash out on the way to pay for the removal people. So that's the plan. Just going to brush my teeth quickly before I get going. That was about 30 seconds of brushing my teeth. It's probably not enough. I probably need to do it for longer than that. But if I'm honest, that's probably about the average length of time that I spend doing it. Sometimes it'll be a bit longer, but usually it's pretty quick like that. Anyway, heading out the door. I'm outside, I'm on the street, and I'm just going to the shop to get some cash. Gotta get £100 out in cash. Oh no, I need more than that. I need at least 115. So I guess I better get 120. Might just get 150 and then I've got a bit of extra just to spend for the day anyway. Just grab myself one of these energy drinks. Not had one of these for a while. There was a point in these videos where I was getting 2 of those a day, every day. That went on for a couple of weeks. In Vlog World. That's like 14 episodes. Incredible, hey? So, I'm just coming into Chorley Town Centre. What are we going to do there? I don't know. There's not a lot to do, but we'll figure something out. We'll pick and choose an activity, and then probably just go ahead and do that. What's up, people? I've been like a rogue for the day. I'm kind of drunk at this point. I don't know where we last were in the vlog, but I went out to meet my friends. We started drinking, and then I met the people that were clearing out the house. They done that. I paid them what they wanted, and they gone, and they took most of the stuff from the house, which is exactly what I wanted. So all good. I'm kind of drunk at the moment. I don't know what I've drank, but I drank quite a lot of alcohol, and I'm making some cheese on toast. So that might be the video for the day. I gotta fucking edit. That's edit and video. I gotta edit this fucking shit, and then that's gonna come out, and then I'll see you again tomorrow for another daily video. Oh yeah, it's not gonna stop. You know why? Because I can't stop. I'm a red hot chili pepper. I can't stop. Alright, so see you again tomorrow for another one. Peace and love. I love you guys. I hope you're doing well. And I really wish you all the best, all the success in life. Love you. See you later. Peace. I need to sober up before I can talk to the video. I gotta keep doing this daily vlog. But I will edit this video one way or another. I gotta sober up first so that I'm good enough to make the video. Okay? I'm not stopping, despite what these fucking idiots think, and despite the fact that they want me to stop making a daily video for their own egotistical reasons. There's no fucking way I'm gonna let them win. I'm gonna win. I am going to win. 100%. And that means I'm making a daily video. So, whatever the fuck you think, dummy, you are not even coming into the consideration of my thoughts. I don't give a fuck what you think. You're a dumbass. I'm going to carry on making a video. So, another video is vlog number 40. So we're fucking celebrating. You know what we should really be celebrating when we get to number 50? That is going to be a celebration out of this world. That's going to be a celebration. And even above that, like double that, like a vlog number 100. Oh my god, that's going to be massive. Why is the camera spinning around? Okay. So anyway, I got to finish this video. Vlog number 40. That was it. 40. Vlog number 40 is over. Thank you for watching. I will keep making these daily videos no matter what anyone fucking says, no matter what any fucking prick says to me. Fuck you. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. And I will keep making these videos every single day. So, much love. I'll be back again tomorrow for another video. Video number 41. See you then. Ciao, ciao for now. Peace.